Ember Esports, what is going on? It is our Magma League Week 3. Regicide Duskfall versus the Kingdom of Kittens Esdeath are battling their way for this Week 3. It is your boy Huey with me. It's Caliber. Regicide Duskfall is 1-1. Kittens of Esdeath is 0-2. So if anyone really needs to get this dub today, it will be the Kingdom of Kittens. Caliber's been here a little bit longer than I have, and we are going right into our 1v1 to decide, to decide our side on which team is going to be going for blue or for red. It seems we got Akali coming in for our ARAMs into Renekton. A very interesting pick. Let's see how it goes. Caliber, my boy, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. And we always love to see these 1v1s. It's always a delight. A little treat before the start of the match. And Akali into Renekton, definitely a skill matchup, but definitely Akali favored. You see this a little bit in the top lane, and a little bit we saw it a couple years ago in pro play as a little bit of a counter pick to the Renekton, especially just since you can use that Shroud to sort of dodge away from when he E's and tries to W you. So it is definitely Akali favored, but there are things that the Renekton can do to outplay. So very interested to see how this one's going to start off.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a battle 2-6 here. If you guys are new and just tuning in, it's just your regular 1v1, first to 100 CS, first tower, or first blood. And then it allows our players, our teams who are playing today, and it will allow them to then decide whether if they want to get a blue side or red side. It's just a little interesting little feature we have here at Ember Esports, just to add a little treat, like Caliber has mentioned. It's a little treat before the to the actual meal here, as we do see that dash gonna go a little wide there. The electrocute proc gonna bring cue ball to 50. They do have the slice and dice. They should be able to sustain back, but already not in the best situation or position to be in right now. But they do find a little bit of leverage there with the W landing. The Q slice and dice going to heal a bit back, but Hikari, in terms of level and health, is in the lead.
Yeah, definitely not the best start for the Renekton. You don't want to be you do not want to be getting hit by those early electrocute combos. That's what Akali's great at, and why she is sort of devastating. Especially since she didn't take Conquer, you want to be avoiding those combos and playing towards your level 6 like you mentioned earlier. But all in all, not the worst start. Definitely could have died already if he had overstepped a little bit.
Right.
But in terms of HP, you can just see the advantage that's already there. But now level 6 taking over for both sides. The Ignite coming through. Q-Ball looking for a kill angle, but might not be able to find anything, as Haruki might just be able to walk away from that one.
Yeah. I love the all-in, let-it-ride mentality here from the side of Cue Ball. Just as soon as that level 6, just knowing exactly when that level is going to hit. The flash forward, the Dominions, the slice, the dice, the Ignite not there, already used in the previous exchange, but is going to bring Haruki down to about 20. Now with the health charge there, going to bring them a little less than 50. That was a really nice, aggressive play here from Cue Ball. And it is working right now for them. They definitely have the health lead, and I feel this is exactly where advantage is for the side of Renekton.
Yeah, for sure. Might be in a little bit of trouble here, as Akali both has the Ignite as well as the ultimate. Yeah, probably going to look for the kill angle now. Procs the Ignite as, stunned up, goes out of the Shroud. There's not much that Renekton can do in that one. Haruki picking up the kill, as well as side selection for his team. I believe that's a Regicide. So they will have the choice for side select. So, getting that little draft advantage, and, good job by Regicide Duskfall. And honestly, I don't want to get started too soon, but Kingdom of Kittens are 0-2 so far, and losing the 1v1 is not exactly how you want to start out that one.
No, 100%. You want to make sure you're winning any advantage at any position possible. And winning the 1v1 definitely would be a little feather in the cap. Does it decide exactly how it's going to go the entire night? Of course not. But mentality, I feel a lot of people at home kind of miss. Mental matters so much going into that game. That little bit of an ego boost, that little bit might just be the edge that could make and break your mental when we get into those late games, into a game 3. But with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. We're gonna get ourselves into picks and drafts and get on our way to game 1. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back. Ember Esports.
I left to find a better place, but why does my heart bring me back to your embrace?
I've been searching for you, need a sign, need a clue, no one else to turn to. I feel so lost without you.
I hear you calling me, don't know where you could be. I wait here patiently, hoping that you will find me. Better than I thought. I've said some things I can't unsay, but I still hope you will forgive me someday.
Everything feels so right.
Hand in hand, side by side. When we're together, no, nothing else matters as long as we are where we belong. Better than I thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our Game 1 picks and drafts. If you are just tuning in, it is your boy Huey. With me on the table today, it is my guy Caliber, and we are here for our Emerald Magma League. So this is the top of the top. This is Masters League. So this is going to be the top of the top, like creme of the creme action for you guys today. With us, it would be Regicide, Duskfall, Kitten, Kingdom of Kittens, Esdeath, and it seems that Regicide has decided to take blue side, first side, as we are getting to our bans. We're already seeing Olaf taken off the board. Yon is going to be matched by the Kittens, as Regicide 1-1 right now. Kittens are 0-2. So again, like I mentioned a little earlier, these guys really need to get a point on the board. We're almost to the halfway point of the season, and this is where it really starts to matter, where these 1-2 games really dictate if you're going to make it to playoffs or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially for Kingdom of Kittens, I think it's extremely important that they win this game, or at least like have a good showing, or at least take a couple like games or like matches, because especially like we were talking about the mental earlier in the stream, and if you haven't won a single series, it definitely like starts wearing down on you. So I think it definitely would do wonders if they could win this one. And yeah, we see the Yone ban coming out early. That is targeted at Hades in the mid lane. He has a 66% win rate on that Yone, so definitely wanting to take that one away.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, for sure. And definitely, if everyone here is definitely known of the Yone, can definitely 1v9 the entire lobby if allowed. So I think that's a good homework on the Kittens there, realizing that, you know, if we don't have an answer for the Yone, we need to just get it off the board and might as well just don't have to deal with it if it's banned. As we see Regicide locking in for the Orianna first. I definitely I don't know. I guess this is coming from from my card background. A very toolboxy mid laner, just has the tools and everything that you want really in a mid laner. Can provide damage, has beautiful CC, can be a showstopper as well too with the ultimate, can find that control as well too. Just overall really great pick. Very safe but strong mid lane pick as we get over to the side of Kittens, who are opting to lock in a little more into the jungle and is going to also match into the mid lane with the Ahri. Ahri strong into the Orianna. As safe as Orianna is, Ahri is not with those dashes. Can really get into that zone, that safe zone of Orianna, find those trades. The charm provides CC, not as crazy as the convergence from Orianna, but still definitely providing CC and tons of damage there. As the Nocturne going to be picked up, that Paranoia, the ultimate, the fast clear as well too, coming out level 3 and just being a threat to level 6. Very, very disgusting. As we see the Scion going to be scooped for Regicide. So already kind of starting to see where Regicide is kind of opting here. You have the split push option through the Scion, but with the Orianna, that team fight can become very, very deadly as there's only a few seconds left for the pick. Where do you think they're going to go? They answered that for us for Wukong. So for Kittens, Caliber, where do you think they're going to be going now?
Well, so we saw the Nocturne being stolen away from the side of Regicide Duskfall. You want to prevent that combo, but it seems like they have a lack of CC, especially with Ahri. You really want to have a jungler that has a lot of crowd control, but no, instead they just choose to match the top lane. The Yorick famously very, very good into the Scion, so they wanted to secure that top lane counter matchup. But, again, for Kittens, they only really have, again, the Ahri Charm, I guess the Nocturne Tether, and then the Ghoulie Wall. I think they need to draft more CC in their comp, and, obviously it's not going to come in the ADC, so hopefully going to look for something like a Leona, something like a Nautilus that would do pretty well into the comp of Regicide Duskfall.
For sure. No, I'm going to have to agree with you there. They have tons of damage between the Ahri and the Nocturne, but, taking away the Nocturne from the Orianna, great. It's a great takeaway from the composition, but you're not really losing too much. There's so many great picks with the Orianna ball composition. Wukong, for example, being a great pickup. It seems Regicide Duskfall has a strong idea coming into this pick and bans, and really are just kind of running away with it still, while it seems that Kittens Esdeath is kind of, they're reacting more to it than setting up their playstyle. Regicide is like, look, we're going to get Ahri, we're going to get our split push, we're going to get a strong jungler who's going to be a really good ball receiver for Ahri, and then we'll deal with the bot lane. It seems that Kittens is responding to Regicide's playstyle and not really having an answer to it just said. Yeah, Yorick is great, but Yorick doesn't really mesh well with Ahri Nocturne later.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing you said about reactivity is so important, I think, because again, yeah, they didn't really have any priorities coming into the draft. They did just steal away the Nocturne and then pair it alongside the Ahri. Now we do see the Senna coming through, but now after the nerfs, I'm not too sure how that's going to pan out for them in the bot lane. Of course, there are things you can pan it with. I think, again, it is a very good Nautilus angle, but with the Tristana in the bot lane, also extremely good with that Nautilus champion. So maybe Regicide Duskfall looking to steal it away here.
I mean, I would love to see, especially with the Nami and the Lulu taken off the board here, I would love to see a tank pick up right here. A Leona, a Nautilus would just work wonders into this group. Yep. Fantastic. Yep. Now you have a really strong front line. You can have Nautilus go forward, be the bait, I guess you would say. You're going to focus so much worried about the hook. You're not going to see Wukong flanking or Tristana Rocky jumping in, who are both, by the way, fantastic ball carriers as well, too. If someone gets a hold of the Tristana, for example, the Nocturne, the Ahri, they can get art by Orianna.
Swain.
You know, Wukong as well, fantastic ball carrier. The Wombo just is there for Regicide. As we look over for the side of Kingdom of Kittens, they are gonna opt and lock in with the Swain. So from paper, it's gonna be most likely Ahri mid, Nocturne jungle, Yorick top, Senna and Swain into the bot lane. That's a very squishy bot lane to say the least. If we weren't in Masters, I'd be very, very concerned for the Senna and Swain.
Yeah. I mean, even though we are in Masters, I'm still a little bit concerned. I think that Senna, personally, I have a little bit of a vendetta against that champion, especially now after the nerfs. It just doesn't feel like she's as strong as she's used to been.
For sure.
Now Swain though, like that pick is so weird to me. I'm not really sure what they were trying to achieve or what they really think they're lacking. Just not too strong of a support champion anymore. I guess you want a little bit of team fight. He does give you a little bit of everything. He gives you a little bit of lane pressure, a little bit of, team fight, but he doesn't really give you that hard CC that you are lacking so desperately in this comp. So I guess they were just going for a little bit of lane because there are things you can do into this Tristana who's relatively short range in those earlier levels. So maybe that's what the idea was, but personally, I just don't see the value.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan here. Again, it's just the terms of CC is just really lacking here. You can have all the damage in the world. You can find a good flank, but if you're CC'd for 3 seconds, knock up from the Death Charge, knock up from the Cyclone, the convergence from Orianna, that's pretty much wraps right there. That's not even including Scion's ultimate or his decimating smash either. That's just so many waves of CC before, if you get caught in the wrong bush, can spell trouble for you. And it doesn't matter where Wukong ganks. Wukong has perfect CC, decimating smash from Scion, Orianna's ultimate, Tristana and Nautilus, Nocturne, not so much. The Yorick has, the cage, Senna has the W, the Nevermore from Swain, and the Charm, but I feel those are real, very skill-based CC skills that, again, are skill shots. They require a lot of skill, and sometimes they need certain situations to kind of happen. For those to land, point and click, Death Charge from Nautilus. You just got to be in the area, man. And worst case scenario, you're not in the zone. I just flash R onto it, And let alone that knockup hits, then it's almost guaranteed the Cyclone follow up. If Orianna is in the area, her R's following up right after. It's so easy to layer that on. While on the other side, Ahri lands Charm. You have about a 1.5 second window to react for Paranoia, or if Swain's rotating to then react for another more, Senna for the W. It's not like it's not possible. And it being in Masters again, it seems very possible, and I feel a little more comfortable going into this game 1 with that. But again, I think I might actually convince myself, and I might be a little concerned here as we head into game 1, ladies and gentlemen. RGC on blue side, KKE on red. As we go and check, it will be Senna support, Swain ADC, so a little bit of a swap there. But to be fair, it's still going to be Swain and Senna in the bot lane. Both still very much of a threat here, as we are going to go check that ward. And yeah, we're going to get right into the position here. Nautilus just going to assume that tank position and just apply pressure already out into the early game. Checking over onto the Nocturne Wukong. It seems that they're going to be on opposite ends here. So they should meet near second scuttle if everything goes right.
Yeah, so both clearing down towards the bot side. They do have mirrored vision as well. So both Raptors are warded. So
nice eye.
Yeah, both teams should have an idea of where each jungler is going to go. And yeah, notice that the Senna does have exhaust, so in this bot lane, a little bit less kill pressure than you would normally have with the Tristana. But, Ghost picked up instead of something like heal or barrier for Swain. Of course, it is a very normal summoner to have on Swain, like as a champion, but definitely into this high damage comp of Regicide, it's extremely scary to play with only Ghost as a summoner.
I think it's more for later. Once you hit that level 6, you're gonna want to pop 6, hit that ghost, get crazy, start looking for things. I think that's what you're really going for. You're not really trying to look for a fight in this situation ever. A double exhaust feels a little over excessive. So I think it's really just kind of like you're kind of picking the lesser of two evils here. It's like, what else do I really take? Do you really take the barrier? I guess you could kind of take the barrier, but it's not really, you know, it's not optimal. So I think I prefer the Ghost Flash. Then I don't know, what would your other
Well,
option
I don't
be?
think I would say double exhaust. Of course, that's a little bit overkill. I think I would suggest something like the heal, because the heal provides you movement speed as well. Of course, I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad summoner in this spot. I think
No,
it's
of course not.
actually
Of course
probably
not.
one of the better ones. I think
Right.
I think I would prefer it even over the heal. But in the end, you know, it is a little bit of again, it's a little bit of give and take, right? Because Senna has the exhaust to stunt a little bit of that kill pressure, but there is some that is added by the lack of combat summoner, because I wouldn't say Ghost is really a combat summoner. But now Nocturne opting to base in the bot side. We could see it on our mini maps, or actually he just canceled it, so he does want to go for the scuttle, but in the end, Moment of Bliss is going to look for a lane gank right here, so we'll have to see how that's about to pan out.
See how it goes here. They have no idea where it is. And Nevermore going to land here. Moment of Bliss coming out. The Q going to land. Moment of Bliss following up as well, too. As Hyperenia is going to get very close to Rocket Jump. Going to force the exhaust out. Moment of Bliss going deep. Moment of Bliss going crazy.
Oh.
Trying to find it. The bob, the weave, the left, the right into
Yikes.
the bush. And now is caught out. And that's going to be first blood. Went so deep. Got so far, but in the end, it really did not matter as KKE finds the first blood.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what he was thinking there. He kind of just kept chasing the Swain, even after he got rooted multiple times. And yeah, it just felt like a little bit of an overextension. Seems very, very nervous in this matchup. So yeah, definitely not the best start for Regicide Duskfall. But, you know, it's not the worst thing either. You know, they did have an idea in mind, but just yeah, looking a little bit frazzled here in this first game.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit. Ooh, nice hook there. No answer to the rocket jump there. Gonna follow up the barrier just in case we were near the tower shot. That was a beautiful and sick angle there, and that's gonna be a very quick one to match things up here for the side of Regicide.
Yep, just got out a little bit. You know, that's a situation where you would have wanted the barrier, of course, but you know,
Right.
obviously not. The barrier, the summoner's fault was not the problem there. Like that, obviously,
Yeah.
just walked too far forward, disrespecting the kill pressure. Didn't even have to pop the ignite. Of course, you don't really want the kill onto the Nautilus, even though it did go there anyways. But you know, still a lead for Regicide Duskfall. And they, you know, they set the Swain behind even more. He did have a slight CS lead before, but was not able to catch that pushing wave. As level 6 is ticked over to by, it's about to be both mid laners. Yeah, it is now both. So we should see a dragon fight ensuing. But
Ooh,
now in the bot
another
lane.
strong angle there from Nautilus, finding a hook right on the little peak side there. It seems the minion is there protecting you, but with the way the hitbox works, it's not. And really just nice work on Magus, just knowing that elite ball. That is just some elite Nautilus ball skill and knowledge check there. Just, you know, Nautilus support mains, take notes, please. Like, that's how you get those angles, man.
Oh, yeah, might see a little bit of a gank angle.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
and just as we're talking about the Nautilus hook angles, I don't think you want to be taking notes from that one, because that was not
Little
too
wide
good.
there.
As we might see a little bit of a skirmish coming out, level 6 again on both mid laners. So a little bit of an engage coming out. The Ahri ultimate as well. The charm is good, and that is just a dead Orianna. Shockwave comes out. The flash away from the Ahri means that she will survive for just a little bit longer. But now the bot line of Regicide Duskfall is here. Moment of Bliss dying in his own jungle, but it will be the AD carry, or the support rather, of Kingdom of Kittens to fall. But again, on the backline, the Conqueror on that Nocturne was already stacked up, so he was able to win out in that 1v1.
Yeah, really unfortunate turns of events there. If you're on the side of Regicide, it seemed a good angle there, but it's just a moment of bliss just not seeming to be really very comfortable in the situations that they keep finding themselves in, and just in the moment of in danger, they just get themselves in danger. As we see the the Scion trying to run away. The runaway train will get flashed in front of. Rondo number 9 is just on the complete opposite side of the spectrum here. Everywhere and anywhere you need this man to be, Nocturne is there. 3-0-1 right now with a 1k gold lead. 600 overall for the Kittens right now.
All right, Huey. So even though we just saw the Scion die, I have to ask you a question. Is this really a counter matchup? Because if you know anything about Scion's W, he stacks HP permanently.
Right. So the build
Like it would be good for him though.
So the real issue is that Scion can match the split push. So granted, the furnace right now, the furnace X is at 400, so it's 400 extra health right now. The whole main goal is that you don't really let him split push. We might have to hold that thought there as the root comes through. Moment finding a beautiful anger here. The Cyclone going to catch cue ball in their unawares. The hook to the second one. That's going to be a double kill. That's going to tie up the kills here. And Moment of Bliss 0-2-2, shrinking that gold lead just a bit. And yeah, that's what you're really looking for.
Yeah, a gross amount of disrespect there. Kind of just weren't tracking the jungler. Of course, Rondo was nearby, but he wasn't nearby enough. So that does mean first Drake to Regicide Duskfall as well. But yeah, I think back in the top lane matchup, I'm not sure about the Yorick as a counter pick. Of course, it can match the Scion split push, and it does do, I would say, a better job at it. That's kind of what Yorick is known for.
It can.
But I think in those team fights, definitely not the best pick when it comes to just allowing the Scion to get that scaling that he wants so desperate.
Yeah, so really what it is that you're not going to be really letting the Scion split. It gets to a point so much that Scion can't split push into the Yorick. And now, guys at home, this is all theory. Okay, this is all paper. This isn't exactly what's happening right now, per se. So please don't kill me, all right, guys? But as you guys can see right now, with Maiden, with the ghouls, it's going to be really difficult for Scion to really handle this. Back into the wall, and now it's desperate. And when you keep applying this pressure over and over and over again, you're going to force Scion to kind of be like, you know what? I think I'll provide a lot more pressure, a lot more availability for me, for my team, while I gank. And let me go roam and go get something. Meanwhile, which you might get something. Speaking of getting something, number 9 gonna find a beautiful ultimate there. That paranoia was triggering as we do get the response from Haruki. It was gonna be a really nice ultimate. Find a little bit of damage on Nocturne, but no kill turnaround, unfortunately, there.
Yep, did end up forcing the flash though, so all in all, not the worst thing, as Alpha now looking for a little bit of a kill angle, but I don't think any kill angle would be there. Gets the fully stacked up E, which means that the W will reset, and now maybe looking for a kill onto the support, but no, will just be attempting to steal away this blue buff. I'm not sure how successful it will be. This Ahri is out of base, and the Orianna is as well, but neither mid laner has their ultimate, so this fight could turn out scrappy.
Let's see how it goes out right now. The C3 are going to convert onto the clone. The Cyclone going to go a little wide there. The second Cyclone going to up Swain a little bit there, but Moment is going to get flashed. The rocket to push him away. Moment is going to be found there, and now the rocket jump to escape. Magnus now going to get hooked, line, and sinker into that Nevermore, and that's going to be another pickup there for the Kittens. Now 4-7 with a 1,400 gold lead. Again, it just seems that Wukong just a little shaky, not really comfortable knowing where or what really the whole game plan is. It did seem that Regicide did have 2 picks taken away from them, so they do have a sub. You being a little more familiar here, I'm assuming that would be Moment of Bliss.
I would have to check. I believe it is. Moment of Bliss, yeah, definitely not having the best performance so far. Now, I believe that is their starting jungler. I believe it is their top laner who is a sub, actually, who is performing very, very well. So, yeah, not exactly the start we expected, although the Wukong is up in CS, but of course that 1.2 gold lead doesn't come from nowhere. The Nocturne 4-0 and 3 with a
Oof.
sizable, yeah, you really wanted that cancel there. You don't want Yorick to ever really get a base, but is forced to use the teleport as he doesn't want the Scion to get those plates. But yeah, again, Kingdom of Kittens just at every stage in the game seem to be coming out on top. Yeah, the jungle doesn't seem to have a great idea of where he wants to be at any given time. Although we did see that pick coming out in the mid lane with the Cyclone onto 2. But since then, it doesn't really seem like he's been able to find anything tangible.
No, definitely for sure. I feel like that's kind of what's being kind of the wrench here as the Paranoia going to strike into the mid lane. It's not going to be enough as the ultimate's going to find 2 and it's shut down. The 1v2 angle looking so fantastic on high rookie. They will say nay. Uno reverse that and find themselves a solo dolo.
Yep, solo Bolo in the mid lane. No flash for the Nocturne that time, just going way too far deep. I'm not quite sure what he thought the angle was. Cuball was also not really in position to follow up on that. Of course, if he was further up in the lane, maybe he could have immediately reacted with a charm. But then again, this is an Orianna with both summoners and only had to pop the Ghost. So very good job by him to use the shockwave. He got the angle as well. So very good job by him, is now in the top lane.
Into that fight right there. Now you see that Maiden just all over my boy. Not a lot of mana there either. Yorick still nice and healthy. Doesn't have sustain, but should still be able to push that out. No issues. As I think they were just going for vision there. That shouldn't crash as we head over towards the bot side there. 23.9 to 24.2. This is a very close game in terms of gold right now.
Yep, now though, as we look towards the second dragon of the game, we might get to see a little bit of a fight. Both top laners resetting. Now though, Scion walking towards this fight, so we might be able to see a 5 versus 5 only at before 15 minutes, 14 minutes actually. So Scion rotating down, but Yorick is not though, so going back to lanes. So should just be a guaranteed dragon for Regicide. We will have to see if Kingdom of Kittens want to contest this.
Looking to try to bait him out of position there. I think Scion got caught somewhere on a ward. I don't think they know that he is there or still in the area. That's going to be an easy pickup. Nice hook there onto the center. The rocket jump follow-up. The Cyclone as well, too. The Wombo with a side of combo. This is exactly what we were talking about in a team select. This is where that team composition started to shine there. Easy dragon pickup. And as we saw, Scion there was great. It was fantastic. It was strong. But look how much pressure Yorick was able to get.
Yeah, Yorick was able to push in that top wave and get those plates off the turret, what he is so good at doing. And I'm not quite sure about the play from the Scion to go walk down. I guess he just really wanted to secure this dragon for his team, and that is, 2 Drakes for Regicide Duskfall. Definitely not the worst thing in the world. Of course, it is favorable to have more Drakes, but what you're losing in the top lane was many plates, and Yorick, not the worst person in the world to have gold on, but certainly can get scary if you allow him to keep being on these side lanes.
Oh yeah. And this is kind of where we were kind of talking about. You're like, where does this kind of shine? Where does that counter pick kind of shine? That's where that counter pick shines, where it kind of takes away that entire aspect of why you're getting picked. You're going for that split push. As we see the Paranoia going to trigger, the flash going to have to be used to just get away from danger. A lot better this time for the Kittens, but not able to get the kill.
Oh, now rocket jump in. Exhaust on the Tristana means that she won't be able to do as much damage as she wants, but the locket will keep him alive for 1 more second. But ultimately, in the end, is Kingdom of Kittens who are able to find the kill, and the AD carry immediately traded, though. So in the bot lane, 1 for 1, but now in the top lane, Moment of Bliss looking for a kill onto the Yorick, but won't be able to find anything just yet. Maybe the turn is there, but ultimately nothing more will come of it. And as we pans away, Smelly Beef might just be dead here. Does have the W to soak up as much damage as he can, and will just be able to walk out of there scot-free. And in the bot lane, while we were not panned there, I believe the Swain was able to find a kill on to the Nautilus in the end. So Kingdom of Kittens at a 2-for-1 in the end.
Yeah, really nice work.
Oh.
Uh-oh. On the run, can't escape. Tries to get
done.
that decimating smash. I don't know if they're going to be able to chase him down there. The wall going to go. I think they do find him to shut down. Going to go to the side of Regicide there.
Yeah, they also got the top lane tier 1 turret on the side of Kingdom of Kittens, so a little bit more gold in their pocket, especially since it was first turret as well. Able to pick up this mid tier 1, but they might just be a little bit cooked here. Haruki finds the shockwave, but it's only onto 1. The immediate flash away, but the Cyclone is on to 2. Kingdom of Kittens trying to fight back. The Nocturne ultimate in will not be enough for now, but it will be enough to back off Regicide Duskfall, and as they set their eyes on this Rift Herald.
Yeah. Again, just the team composition really starting to shine there. Really, just, you don't need all members there, but when all members are grouped up, you can really see it start to shine. It is very difficult for the Kittens to approach into the river for these objectives, as we see another hook going to land. The second one going to get depth charge. One shot away. The auto attack is going to find it. Harikuri is on a killing spree. The Rift Herald will be secured, as now Harikuri does have the flank, but now they're just going to react and respond to Harikuri, but now they roll back behind the team. Now Bakuta in a very terrible position. The decimating smash gonna find a knockup in 2-3. Now Cue Ball with the Foxfire trying to find a pick, now looking to get picked themselves, but they should be able to walk away. That was 4-4 Rift Herald. They gotta be feeling pretty good about themselves right now for the side of Regicide.
Yeah, Kingdom of Kittens kind of just threw themselves at Regicide Duskfall. It didn't seem like they had too much of a plan. It all started when the second one got cut out with that Nautilus hook. And, you know, it was only an Orianna auto to finish him off. So, was down to the wire for that one. But ultimately, it is Regicide who were able to snowball the fight as well as pick up the objective. So overall, a net positive.
No, 100%. As we are seeing the score now, 13-10, a 2.7k gold lead for the side of Regicide. I think this is the biggest gold lead we have seen within this match here. It's not the all end all, but now looking over, it is going to be a gold lead in the mid lane, the ADC, and also a bit in the top lane, where it's been a very difficult fight, to say the least. Bakuta Beast has been definitely a very big threat and an issue for the side of Regicide.
Yep, Herald now spawned up. Regicide looking to get their third dragon and put themselves on soul point. With that added pressure from the Rift Herald, they should be able to pick it up. But this Ahri is free hitting the turret now. The sign is, of course, there, but no, that is gold over the Ahri, which is not necessarily something you want to be given.
Yeah, no, you're gonna have to be extremely careful there. That's gonna be third Drake right into the boys.
Yeah, Moment of Bliss might be caught out here, though. He's in a very scary scenario. The Nocturne ultimate is popped, but the Orianna is here to back him, but the Cyclone is there to stunt the initial pressure, but he might just be dead here. The ultimate onto 2 gets him, but ultimately it will just be the jungler to fall. Now the chase is there, but the rockets jump away. Is that Kingdom of Kittens will have to settle for 1. A good pick by them, which ultimately lands them not too much, but maybe a kill onto Haruki here as the Senna W is landing. The rocket bolt is away, but now Cue Ball able to find an angle, but doesn't want to step too far. Doesn't have, doesn't think he has the damage. I think he probably could have, but with the Nautilus hovering, you know, he doesn't want to risk it, especially with both Summoners ultimate as well as the Locket.
It was a very kind of consolation prize here, to say the least. But still a little bit of something, able to get about 1,000 gold back into their pocket here. But now at that Drake position, it's a very scary one to be, because no matter what's going on, unless you're winning and closing out the game in the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you're going to have to be at that Dragon Pit, whether you're ready or not.
Yep, absolutely. The thing about 3 dragons is that it makes the opposing team respond. If you don't, you're going to give over Mountain Soul, which is so good, just in general, honestly. But it's not the best into things that don't have the burst. You know, obviously the Ahri wants to go in, but
Whoa.
now she's the one that's getting going in on. As now the Nocturne onto the Tristana, they're trying to burst her down, and they do so. The Ahri Charm lands, as now the Swain is kind of eating them up. Only 2 members remain in this mid lane. As the Charm hits yet another time. Moment of Bliss trying to make it out, but Cue Ball is incessant on this chase, trying to go forward, hits the 3rd charm of the fight, and gets out with his life. No, he doesn't! Haruki finding the last auto that he needs, but he might just pay for it with his life, able to go under his own turret, as the turret is burning down. A double kill for Haruki, but ultimately, it's a 3 for 2 in the end.
A really nice bit of a turnaround there for the Kittens. But that was, they were missing a member for Regicide. So with that, it can go any way still for these fights here. 1,000 gold lead. It's still very close in terms of gold. So these fights are still very close. And it's great that the Kittens have found that, but they need to find that again in 2 minutes.
Yep, gold lead is pretty much even now, only a slight 500 one now. Ultimately, not the worst thing in the world. If you are the Kittens, you do have a lot of ways back into this game. Good deep vision, though, from the Kittens in this jungle, so they will be able to spot out the positions of both the mid laner and the jungler over beside Duskfall. As it seems as though they're setting up around this top side, not so much the dragon that's spawning in a minute 30, but maybe they want to pressure the Baron and get the members of Kingdom of Kittens over to this top side before they want to go towards this ever so important objective.
Yeah, I think so. Only a minute and 20 left. Let's look over on terms of vision there. It definitely seems that the Kittens are going to have the vision control here. Doesn't seem they want to try and take an angle onto Nocturne as well, which might be Regicide's plan to maybe give this one up. Maybe try to go for a Baron angle. Smelly able to finally get the split going, able to get that top tower down. That might be a possibility, but we shall see soon enough.
Yeah, it's up in 45 seconds. Again, both teams just kind of waiting, but Moment of Bliss, I don't think he wants to wait as the Sign Ultimate goes into the wall, as the Paranoia was called a bit preemptively. Smelly B420 very happy that he did not go too far, as he might not have been able to come back. And now level 16 though on the Scion. Both top laners have ticked over to that mark, so the ultimate should be at a pretty low cooldown. Looks like going wide. Definitely would have wanted that one to hit, but now with Dragon spawning in 15 seconds, Duskfall look for a fight.
Looking for the hook, finds it onto Swain there. That might be it there, as Yorick is just going to continue to split. Someone's going to have to answer that man there, as Orianna finds the 3-man shockwave. Beautiful, fantastic work there. But meanwhile, in topside, Yorick still pushing. You're going to have to answer that. But with 3 members of the Kittens down, that should be Drake. That should be able to apply or relieve a little bit of that pressure to the top side, as it does seem Evo and Harikuri are going to push up to the mid lane. What a crazy exchange of blows here, but it seems Regicide came out on top.
And the fight seems lost for Regicide Duskfall at the start of that. After the Paranoia was called, I thought they were a little bit cooked. The Swain, again, just so powerful in these elongated team fights, but ultimately Haruki able to find the angle. A beautiful shockwave secures his team, both the Dragon as well as the Soul. And on the top side, they did lose a good amount, 3 plates on the inhibitor turret, but ultimately Smelly Beef was able to teleport, so they did not lose too much on that end. Now a 2.5 gold lead. It was only a 500 one at the start before that Dragon. So now Regicide Duskfall at a pretty happy spot in this game.
Yeah, no, you got to be feeling pretty good after that. You have the Soul. You're able to secure 3 in that fight as well, too. Really nice execution and communication as well, too. Now starting to look at the Baron angle and start looking to try to close this one out with that 25k gold lead in the mid and ADC. You got to be feeling pretty good. Smelly Beef still not really able to break through the wall of what is Bikuta Beast, and still at a 2-2-1 with somewhat of a lead. you can see the deficit and the disadvantage there within the members as a TP is coming from Cue Ball. 4 members of the Kittens are here for the Baron.
Double
and
TP.
now we're getting into the action. As we do see the Yorick TPing as well. It will be 5-4 right now.
Yeah,
Looking
Sion
for the
isn't here, but
shockwave, finds 2. Swain
Yeah.
dropping the ultimate onto the clone. They try to find the bait. The paranoia
Oh.
has been struck. Nautilus in danger. They will find it. Maggots will go down as
Oh.
Harkuri going to find a big chunk of damage, but now the wall going to find Moment of Bliss down and out. It's 2-1 for the side of the Kittens. They should retreat back and start setting their sights for Baron, but I think they're going to get aggressive and start looking for some in-hit. But now here comes the train. Sion finding 3. Sion looking for the Q knockup, will get pulled instead. Now Avo with the front line, able to go rocket, go crazy, gets a double kill off the reset. Looking kinda clean. The greed, their lust, they deserve that low 3, -3 there, as now Cue Ball trying to just clear the vision. He's gonna take a bit of a trade here.
Oh, might be getting engaged upon, but should just be all good in the end. Should just be able to walk out of there. And man, was that a crazy fight. We saw it be started with the Orianna Shockwave. I believe the Nocturne immediately flashed out of it, so wasn't able to get all 3, but again, the follow-up was just not there, but able to turn around in the end with the Unstoppable Onslaught. Now, though, setting their eyes on the Baron. It doesn't seem like there's going to be too much of a contest, just handing it straight over. Yorick in the bot lane, as it will be yet another objective over to Regicide Duskfall.
Yeah, it's just a little unfortunate when it falls to situations like this. You kind of like can't go into the pit. You know, going into the pit makes it a worse situation for you, so you kind of have to give up that objective. But given that objective now has given up 1,100 extra gold, now that 2,400 lead has now extended to about 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 gold lead when a lot of it is on the Tristana, your main damage dealer, now ticking over to her 4th item. Extremely scary thing to deal with, especially since no members are really that tanky. Of course, you have the Yorick, you have the Swain, who is your tanky sort of damage dealer. But again, the Tristana, if she's able to stack up that E and sort of jump in there, that's exactly where she wants to be. Might be devastating in these fights, as now the Wukong trying to find a little bit of an angle, but the Paranoia is popped just as an escape tool, so won't be too much more fighting going on just yet, as I am beginning to eat my words. As the hook coming down onto the Swain, he is absolutely obliterated. You can see now why the 4-item Tristana is going to be a problem. Able to reset those cooldowns as well, now that she has the Navori quick flicker blades, I believe they're called nowadays, as the rest of Regicide Duskfall look to take down this inhibitor turret. Might be a little bit of a loss for damage, as now the combo is there. We talked about it so much. The Shockwave and the Cyclone being used in tandem. Regicide Duskfall able to find the resets for the Tristana. Guardian Angel popped on the Nocturne. As Regicide Duskfall look to end the game here. An ace for them, but 10 seconds on the Swain, they might be able to hold.
It might just, but I think with everything that's going on and going down, I don't think they will be able to. As the second base tower will fall, I don't think he can flash art into any of that, as they just keep him away. They keep him at bay. They find a game 1. A Regicide walking away with the dub.
Yep, now with a 1-0 lead in the series, Kingdom of Kittens are going to have to win this next game to even get a chance at going 1-2 and not going 0-3. We can see in the post-game stats, the gold lead at the end was absolutely bonkers. About a 5k gold lead in the bot lane at the end. Of course, it's a little bit fake just because, you know, you get the Nexus turrets, and obviously that gold doesn't matter as much. But still, it felt like a very back and forth game, honestly. And oh my goodness, is that the damage charts or what? 6.3k damage on the Orianna, and then somehow Yorick having 25.6.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely shows there. Yorick just having Sion as a punching bag for most of the time to be able to rack up those damages there. And then the team fight's just going to Orianna. Those ultimates were fantastic, and it really shows there.
Yeah. Good overall game by Regicide Duskfall. Of course, Kingdom of Kittens did have a pretty good stronghold over, I don't know what the word I was looking for was, like hold over the early game, but ultimately Duskfall just made better decisions. You can see that every single Drake went over to them. You know, it felt like at that first dragon fight, maybe they had a chance. It felt like they had a chance at many objective fights, but ultimately the Baron was just used to, end the game, which is what it's used for. You can see in the gold chart on the right, they were behind. It was back and forth until about 9 minutes. They were behind until 15, and then they never lost their lead from there. So a lot of swings in this game, but ultimately Regicide Duskfall coming out on top.
Yep. Hopefully the Kittens can go to the drawing board, figure something out before they end this week with another loss in their pocket. But we definitely see a lot of hope. We've seen a lot of action, and I don't think it's over just yet. If anyone can bring us to a 3-game series, it is definitely the Kittens. But with that, we will take a quick break. Do not go anywhere, guys. Picks and bans for game number 2 will be on the way after this break, so be sure to keep it locked.
everyone, and welcome back to our Ember Magma Leaf. We currently just saw Regicide Duskfall take down Kingdom of Kittens in a pretty back and forth victory, to be honest, but I think the star player of that game definitely was the mid laner on the Orianna. We saw so many crucial shockwaves, but now we see the Regicide Duskfall is going to continue to be on the blue side, I believe, as Kingdom of Kittens choose the red side yet again, as Regicide Duskfall are using a sub in the top lane, so they will lose their first 2 bans. Huey, what do you think of that last game, and what do you expect to see in this draft?
It's interesting to see the Kingdom of Kittens stay on red side, but I wanted to actually kind of pick your brain a little bit on this, Caliber. It's kind of weird. If you follow with Pro and, you know, other comps, other leagues, red side is more of a win side than normally it's blue side win side. But red side is now becoming more of a favorite, I guess, going into the Dragon Pit. With Dragon being such a high priority, it allows people to kind of do a little more for taking that priority and using it to their advantage. So it's interesting to see them continuing to stay red side, and I wanted to see how you felt on that. Have you seen that little bit of a change from people going for red side more, or do you feel it's still blue side win side?
Well, I think personally, it just depends on what you really want to do. Like, if you want to prio certain champions like the Xin Zhao, like that is a perfect example of why you pick blue side, is to pick a champion like Xin Zhao. Like that,
Right.
that is a reason why you would pick blue side. But if you have certain champions that you just don't really care about playing into, like if you don't care about playing into, so you can sort of prio the overpowered characters, at least like what you see to be the overpowered characters, because especially what I like about red side is the R3 pick, which allows you to get you get to see 3 of the enemy characters, and then you get to lock in a champion, and then you go to bans, right? So it's a very strong top lane pick spot, especially if the top lane has already showed. We saw it last game where the Yorick was picked. Now coming into this draft, though, I'm very confused on what the Kingdom of Kittens are doing. It seems, I mean, so Regicide Duskfall, obviously Caitlyn Lux, extremely powerful bot lane combo, paired alongside the Xin Zhao, just having so much safety. But the Sivir and the Zillion, so Sivir in a mobile carry is definitely not the best into Xin Zhao. Of course, you do have the spell shield to counteract the wind becomes lightning and anything that could be used to get on you, but paired alongside the Zillion, I guess you just want to move really fast. I guess that's sort of the idea behind it. And then the Skarner, you know, not the best jungler in recent days, but, you know, still a strong pick, able to have a good amount of damage, good amount of crowd control, especially with that ultimate, you know, in late game team fights can be devastating.
So hear me out.
Yeah.
And I know when everyone says so hear me out, it's always some crazy take.
Something crazy.
And it's some little crazy. Okay, so hear me out, guys.
I'm hearing you.
Skarner top, Zillion mid.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. It's not the worst thing in the world, but how about you hear me out on this one, okay?
Okay.
Zillion top, Skarner support. Those are 2 very real picks. I've seen Zillion top as a counter pick to some things like the Tryndamere, for example. It's very good into Tryndamere. I'm not sure why you would put it there unless you get a really good matchup. And then Skarner support. I'm not sure how it fares with Sivir. It's probably okay. Just you get a lot of you kind of play to get pushed in, and then play for your jungler to gank you. You just kind of want to pull them into your
and then
turret.
you just push them into the wall, push them into the tower. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it is viable. So I think I'd like to raise you on that one. They're definitely
Listen, I'm down.
Opportunities,
especially that we're here. I'm down. I think this 4th pick here will kind of clear the air for us.
Yeah.
But I'm down for either way. If it goes either way, that'd be really sick. But I think they're gonna most likely be traditional with it.
Yeah.
Being traditional with it questions me, and it worries me though.
Yeah, bro, Zillion support, it just doesn't seem like the best pick as a Syndra in the mid lane. So not yours.
Yeah. Yep.
which is, you know, Syndra, just a good overall pick. But yeah,
Right.
again, Zillion into Caitlyn Lux, it just doesn't feel like you would have the lane pressure or scaling that you would really want.
Not really. The slow not going to be is a point and click, but you're not going to be really getting into the position to really go for the slow. The bombs will help for the poke, but that poke is going to be very, very difficult. Sivir with the spell shield, with the blade bounce, with the boomerang, should be fine per se, which is why I would say someone like Lulu, Anami would be a great pick into this poke comp. With the Sivir, you're just kind of feeding, pumping them heals and shields to keep them alive. The Zillion, I guess you're kind of waiting for the R for later. But even then, Sivir can outduel Caitlyn, but can get outdueled by both Lux and Caitlyn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, for definitely. Sivir, definitely more of a team fight oriented comp. So I think it is Skarner top. So you were right on that one. Nefiri going to go towards the jungle. So I guess they liked the Skarner matchup into Renekton. You know, with the red side, you usually see top lane be the counter pick up to put the Skarner on top. And it's a very, very strange composition. Yet again, it doesn't feel like it has a coherent identity. Like Regicide Duskfall, if you'll notice, they have a lot of poke. Like they want to keep you at a range. And if you ever want to go into them, it's so hard because you have the, like, if you're ever trying to walk into a Renekton, you've pretty much always lost the fight, especially when it's paired alongside things with the Xin Zhao. So I think it is very scary to play the comp of Kingdom of Kittens in this one.
oh yeah, you have the Lux binding, you have the laser from Victor, you have Luck or Caitlyn's Q, Xin able to jump onto just about anybody. And once we team up and we start grouping full 5, paired up with the Renekton, that's going to be very explosive damage coming in as well too. And then it's going to force you to be in these split situations where you really shouldn't be focusing on the half health Renekton with ult going off, you know? But you can't reach the Caitlyn and Lux because they're so far back, you know? It's going to leave you in real hectic situations. On the other hand, if they can get through, if the Kittens can break through this damage line, you know, instead of being a meaty wall, it's just a bunch of poke. If they can get through this poke, the Skarner has a god game, right?
Right.
Which wasn't in the realms of impossibility. We saw how well this Skarner played last game, and with this pick, I feel Skarner is a lot better.
What?
Oh, man, wait a minute. They really threw us for a loop here. It's gonna be it's gonna be Nefiri in the top side with Skarner into the jungle. It is gonna be the Sivir and the Zillion. I don't know, man. Especially with the second one, they didn't have the best game last game. You know, on the Senna, you were a very squishy character to now play, I guess, even a squishy character that doesn't, I don't know, you really don't fit this comp, I guess. What are you really just walking around the press R? Are you really trying to double Q? I don't know. Wild Rift Zillion is a monster right now. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like you see Zillion on Wild Rift, you're like, oh god, like, okay, like he just does so much, tons of damage, like, you land at Q level 1, you're practically dead. Like, but this isn't Wilder, so I don't know. I don't know. The exhaust pick again.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest fan of exhaust, man. You saw it go well for the first rocket jump. It saved them from the dive.
Right.
But then as soon as Nautilus found that second hook, that was it. It was wraps from there. So, I don't know. The spell book, Summoner spell book, I am a fan of that. I do enjoy that, so we are gonna see the ignite, the exhaust. I mean, ooh, TP Zillion, watch out now, like, you know. But I guess that's an issue. Smite gonna be a secondary smite is always awesome as well too. You know, 2 smites on the field helps. I don't know. I'm putting a lot on second, so they really have to show off tonight for me because I don't know. I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing the vision right now.
I think that we need to put our eyes towards the top lane. I don't know if you saw, but this is a Neferi top. It's not a Neferi jungle like that.
I've seen this.
At a loss for words. Is it a counter pick to the Renekton? I'm not
so
quite
it's
sure.
not necessarily a counter pick into the Renekton, but Neferi does do tons of damage. And then think about it. Think about it logically. The way the farm is, Neferi will be, as long as their lane goes well, which should be fine, they should be the highest level champion on the map. So Victor, Lux, Caitlyn, delete. Like, if you approach this Neferi the wrong way, you will be taken off the map, and it will be a very quick 3v4, 5v4 situation. So you gotta really keep your eyes on that. As long as Renekton doesn't play silly into it, that lane should push relatively easy. Yeah, we see the double ward there, but they don't have the radar, so...
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, double ward does come out. Obviously, a little bit of a miscommunication.
It provides the double vision, you know?
Yeah, the double vision. Of course,
Into
everyone
the bush,
who plays the league knows that if you have 2 wards in a bush, it actually extends double the range that it normally does. But yeah, you did mention the Neferi being able to get that pressure later into the game, which I think is definitely a good point. I think the only concern would be just how he fares in the early lane. I don't think it's going to be too bad, but you know,
it's not
especially like
that bad, but it's still Renekton.
It's Renekton. Neferi does also want to pick up Eclipse, so into a Renekton, I'm not sure if you're gonna want to buy that first. Maybe you're gonna opt for something else. And in this mid lane, Victor, I mean, personally, I enjoy myself a good amount of Syndra, and I don't know if it's personal issue. But I think Victor is extremely hard to play Syndra into just because of your low mobility. You don't really have the tools to dodge away from the E, especially when it gets upgraded, and especially when all of his abilities start to get upgraded. Like you can see it just then, you don't really have the movement speed early on or the dashes to get away. So he might be in a little bit of a disadvantage. Does have the ghost though, so will be a little bit less susceptible to early ganks.
I am a big fan of Syndra into the Victor. Oh, the slice and dice the W as well too. But now the minions are not going to be your friend there. Smelly Beef doesn't have the rage as well too. The slice going to go a little wide. Not going to get the champion heal. Should secure most of that wave. But as we head over back to the mid lane, I'm a bigger fan of Syndra. But laning phase, you know, that Victor definitely has it.
Yep. Victor in the laning phase is always pretty impressive, especially if you can get those favorable trades with your Q. It does provide you that shield after the mini rework. You know, a little bit of a change is always good, but now Skarner does skip his blue buff, so looking to fight this crab. The priority seems to be going towards Kingdom of Kittens, but now in the bot lane, a little bit of a chunk coming out, but the spell shield from the Caitlyn Q means that Kingdom of Kittens will have the early prio in the river. Moment of Bliss caught out here. The Scuttle Crab did go to the Skarner, so level 4 for the Kingdom of Kittens jungler, and yet again, a great start for Regicide Duskfall.
Nice work there, but that is going to be the Kittens that find the victory there, as Xin is going to fall. Moment of Bliss just gonna getting caught out there. Skarner pushing him up against the wall. Scatter the weak to hold them back. That is almost that is a full 4-man, 3-man assist, but 4 players all got on that gold. That is the most optimal that you can really get besides the 5-man. So I mean, Kitten's got to be feeling a little bit of fresh air relief there a bit, you know. Oh, okay, things are starting to go our way a little bit. Also forgot to touch on Zillion's passive, so could make things a lot easier here as the pressure, the poke coming down onto the Kittens bot lane here, as Hyper is going to be able to clear with the help of Zillion there. Should be able to find the reset, get this little bit of a lead, but is going to get poked out there and not going to be able to recall just yet.
Yep, does have double buff as well, so pretty favorable now. But isn't really able to make too much use of it just because of the low health bar. Notice that he does opt for the barrier this time, as Caitlyn has the cleanse, so a little bit less early fighting power. Definitely when you get into those later skirmishes, when the Zillion is just popping bombs on your head, and just with the large amount or larger amount of CC that they have this game, you're definitely going to want to have the cleanse. But again, it does mean that you have a little bit less early dueling power.
Right. You gotta just, you gotta respect this thing. And as long as they know these small ball knowledge checks, they shouldn't run into any big issues here. As we do see the 6 landing on to Smelly Beef. Little shocked we didn't see the all-in like we saw for the start. But I guess a little unsure of where the jungler was. Seeing where their jungler is in the bot lane, as now this might be trouble here. Moment of bliss.
Just uses E, but doesn't want to go in, I guess.
Yeah, hesitating a little bit there. Now gonna fall into danger yet again. 1 clock into the slow, into the stun. Has to flash away to scatter the weak. Gonna go wide. Moment of bliss. Going to find the engage. Now at 50. Now going to take all the dodge balls. And the bomb. 3, 2, 1. See you later. The second one showing why Zillion is a pretty good pick. Stopping the roam. Really good approach there as well.
Yep. Notice in the bot lane, the Sivir is at 33 CS at minute 6. So this Caitlyn farming 10 CS a minute while the Sivir is kept to 5. So a sizable advantage in the bot lane, even though the Sivir did pick up the kill in the early lane. So definitely not the best for Kingdom of Kittens. This Caitlyn is still scaling like crazy. Maybe Regicide Duskfall able to find a little bit of a steal here, but now with 900 smites, shouldn't be any more opportunities as first dragon finally goes to Kingdom of Kittens. Last game, they got literally 0 dragons, so now a lot happier with this one, as now Haruki might be in a little bit of trouble here. Ultimate on the Skarner. Zillion is here as well, so might be looking for an angle. The flash ultimate is immediately flashed away from Haruki, being able to react from that one. No flash on the jungler now, but Mona Bliss doesn't want to risk it. Hasn't ticked over to the level 6 himself, so will just be forced to back away.
Yeah, as you notice, the CS deficit in the bot lane, can be the same for the jungle, 52 to 35. So you head over to the top side here. Smelly Beef trying to find a kill angle, but really cannot just get down the dog just yet. As we do find a binding onto the second one. Second one does not have access to sit just yet, but Hyper does. As they get excited. Big damage going forward. They find one, but it will be matched by Avo taking down the second one. As they do have Dirks to their Warhammer. So I think they have the advantage here, if I'm not mistaken.
I definitely have the advantage. Yeah, no. Warhammer, I believe, giving you 25 AD for 1050 gold and 10 ability haste, while Dirk gives you 10 lethality as well. So an extremely powerful item. Picked up alongside the Cull as well, so it's an extra 7 AD, especially when you're into a Caitlyn as well. Extremely hard to, make do. So still a sizable advantage in the bot lane for the Caitlyn, 700 gold. As even though the bot lane lead is there, it will just be grubs over to the side of Kingdom of Kittens. So second objective over to them. So a pretty good start on the map. Of course, bot lane not doing too hot, but in general, Kingdom of Kittens should be pretty happy with how this game started out.
Oh yeah, a lot better now, as the ultimate from Cue Ball going to go crazy. Now Haruki in trouble. Second one going to find another one. 4 kills under the Kitten's belt. 3 of them going to the second one, showing the Zillion carry is so real.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Haruki was thinking there. I think if he just right-clicked away, he would have been just fine, but ultimately did not choose to, as yeah, this Zillion has had insane pressure on this map. Absolutely running it. Has 100% kill participation with 3 kills. I'm not sure if that's exactly who you want your kills to be on, as oh my goodness, that Skarner ultimate was very close to hitting. Ultimately did not though, so bot lane of Regicide Duskfall should be good for now. Maybe a little bit of a counter gank opportunity, though the Tribush is warded, so we'll just opt for a recall instead.
Yeah, they do know Bliss is in the area there. I see him rotating over. I don't think much is going to happen there,
Got it.
as this is definitely Kitten's game right now. 4-1, but still the gold is still very, very close. As we have seen in these recent turns, it's never been a Kitten lead with a 2,000 or more gold lead just yet.
Yeah, for sure. We can see that Regicide are still doing a pretty good job in this one to keep themselves in this game. You know, we see the CS lead in the bot lane being so large. As now Moment of Bliss looking for a little bit of an engage here. Isn't able to find too much just yet, but getting a good chunk now. Renekton is here as well. The Syndra E and the Ghost will get her off for now, forced to use every single safety tool that she has to get out of that one. Just a little too far. The Neferi wasn't there just yet either, so Duskfall walking away pretty happy with that one, but they weren't able to get the crabs, so definitely not all good for them.
Yeah, a little bit of a consolation prize just getting the Ghost Flash, but now, knowing that Cue Ball cannot escape, Haruki getting real aggressive. We'll go for the 1-for-1 trade, but I feel that was in Haruki's favor with how much Syndra or Cue Ball was ahead here, as Avo getting a little crazy. Gonna go for the cleanse. Stepping it back just a bit, very back and forth between Hyper and the second one. The, going to opt out the Summoner spell for heal now. Flash still available as well, too. Gotta respect that. I don't know if Avo has respected or noticed the swap either.
Yeah, so if you'll take a look at your minimap, just look at the amount of wards that Kingdom of Kittens has placed. It's literally a line down the river. Everything is illuminated from them. So very good vision. Of course, it's not the deep vision that you would like to have, but they do still have a good amount of information if anyone crosses over into the river. And yeah, in that bot lane 2 versus 2, we saw the value of the cleanse a little bit here, as the second one might just be cut out here. The evac from Caitlyn, and he's taking a lot of damage. The heal was expended, and it might just be a little bit of a bait here, but they might just be able to walk away. The Skarner ultimate is online, and the flash is forced to be expended. Magnus Nicky might just be under a little bit of trouble, but Skarner has to flash away as the turret was burning down.
That was super aggressive there, and I feel like a bit under pressure, as they really just were trying to get something going for them to go their way, and it just dominoes did not fall the way they wanted to. So now gonna retreat back, opt to go for this Infernal Drake. Let's see how well this plays out for them from here.
Yeah, second dragon of the game, so we'll be able to see what the soul is after this. There is a possibility of Chemtech, which I don't think you're too happy with this composition. We'll see in just a moment, as it will be the Hextech soul in the end. So definitely one of the souls that is most favorable with this comp, as you do get the slow as well as the damage. So extremely powerful dragon soul opportunity with 2 dragons stacked so far. Only more to come, as this mid lane matchup is beginning to become more favorable for Cue Ball. Has picked up the Blackfire Torch, which is the meta item, going into the Cosmic Drive next, surely.
Yeah, I like that pick there. The Blackfire Torch going to provide plenty of value for Cue Ball Syndra, and then going for the Cosmic Drive, just going to stay away, just put on plenty of damage from the safety of practically the base, and feel pretty good for that. With Skarner as well too, you got to be feeling all right. It's not perfect right now. It's still a 600 gold lead in terms of Regicide, but overall it's not how it was game 1. As we head over into this bot lane fight here, Hyper taking a lot of damage from that headshot proc. It is a 1,000 gold lead there, and with that attack you saw that matter. As now we see Haruki forcing Cue Ball away. The Storm going crazy. The ultimate will be going off. The flash and the flash and teleport still available. Well, it's not available for Cue Ball here. Scattered Weak going to land.
Yeah, both summoners available for this AD carry. So from the side of Kingdom of Kittens, no summoners available on either player of the bot line of Regicide Duskfall. So it could be a little bit scary. Haruki in a little bit of trouble here, is stunned up. with the Syndra E, but flashes away from the Skarner Impale, so will be able to get out of that one. Extremely close, but now, meanwhile, in the bot lane, the second one ticking down extremely low, but the flash forward as well as the barrier means that he will survive for now. The second one ticking down extremely low, even lower than before, but Magnus Nicky has to walk away. The Sivir going extremely far. It might be a little bit too far. Pops the spell shield, but won't be enough. The flash forward wind becomes lightning. So close, but ultimately does not find it in the end. All summoners used for the bot lane. Wasn't able to get out of it in the end. It is only a 1 for 2 though, so Kingdom of Kittens are not too happy with that one.
Yeah, no, for sure. They got to be feeling the mode just a little bit. And even though they have the Drakes, even though they have the kills, they haven't had a gold lead. And still having the objective control here, having the priority to be able to go for these things. We do see them go for this Rift Herald, and it just feels like it's consolation prizes here for the Kittens. And I won't be happy until I see a Kitten gold lead.
Well, I don't think gold leads are the only thing in this game. You don't think a Dragon Soul is better than a 1K gold lead?
No. I want to see these guys ahead, as we do see Haruki in trouble. Moment of Bliss going to give him just a bit. Really nice ult to keep them away. The second one is going to fall victim to minions. Scatter the Weak going to land. Cue Ball going to find the ultimate. Trying to tie things up. Flash away from Magnus's R to make it a 2 for 1. Moment of Bliss going crazy. And now Hyper is coming around for the flank. The knock up faster than wind. The Q-Roo, you get cooked. Ace in the hole going down as well too, and now RGC starting to find a bit of hope. That's going to be 1,000 gold shift to their side.
Yeah, we talked about the gold lead, and it is now even more prominent. I'm not quite sure why the Sivir thought she could flank. It looked good at the beginning, but yeah, the Syndra was forced to flash away from the Lux ultimate, and that is a pretty strong Xin Zhao. I can't tell if it's the champion or how he's playing, but seems to be in a pretty strong spot, at least right now. The Skarner hasn't been able to find too many impales. It feels like anytime he tries, he's just met with the flash. So haven't seen him have too much impact, or at least as much as we would have liked to. That's for sure.
I mean, honestly though, you got to give it up more to the Caitlyn here, the Evo, and Magus really now extending their lead, as you saw from that mid lane gank. As
my god,
Smelly Beef might be in danger here. This is the 3-man. The bomb's going down as well too. Now knows that second is in this area.
Should be. Oh,
Ooh, nice bob and weave there, clearing out the minions to then go back there. Avo feeling the mode from Syndra. Is gonna lose out on that trade, but now this may spell danger for them. The QE gonna go a little wide there, but now the second one pop up. The ultimate going to have to be used on to second to give him a second chance, but that second chance is going to go nowhere, as the ace in the hole was aimed for Q-Ball, but will aim into Rondo's back as he ultimates Bliss back. But the binding going to hold him at bay. Haruki now rotating back over. Now Barracuda Beast here looking for cleanup. The TP for the minion to keep them under tower and at bay to keep them safe. RGC
oh my god,
keeps it going. Hyper with the flank. Hyper with the gank. Oh, these guys are nothing but stank as they just continue pushing their envelope and pushing the barrier. A 1,700 lead. No, double that and give it right back. 3,500 in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what was going on there for Kingdom of Kittens. It seems like they sort of just are falling apart. Okay, yeah, are falling apart in this one. Smelly Beef, definitely not the star of the show, but when he ganked, I definitely knew that the fight was over. It was just every single moment in that fight, it felt like Regicide Forsaken were gonna take it. There were a couple moments where it was a little bit wishy-washy, and it felt like it could go either member's way, as now Haruki looking for an angle, not able to find too much. But yeah, again, it just feels like Regicide and Duskfall are coming out on top every single time and in every single fight.
Yeah, it seems that the Kittens definitely had an answer, but just not a complete answer. As we head over to this 3v3 yet again, Bliss not really able to find the impales, but able to find these really, really nice ultimates here. going to separate this three-man, find himself a little bit of reprieve and retreat, and get himself back, as now this lead is now extended to a 4K. Melly now trying to fight the doggo. Gonna go 50-50 right now in that trade, but I feel, yep.
Probably.
Bikuda felt that roam coming, but had the help of Zillion and Skarner, but they gotta be very careful here. That speed up boost is no joke here. Avo as well too. Gonna take the Hex Tech gate, immediately sensing danger.
Yeah, that was a close one there. If he got hit by the Q, he might have just been dead if the second one was able to find the angle that he would have liked to. But now I believe that is, actually, I think it's the mid lane. The turrets did just go down. So that map is opened up for now. Now, like on the bot side, we get to see Cue Ball be under a little bit of pressure. Magnet Storm coming out immediately, and that is just a dead Syndra. They want to give the kill over to the Caitlyn. The ultimate was put on full cooldown, as now the Baron is the call. I'm not sure if that's exactly the right thing to be calling right now, but if Regicide Duskfall don't figure out that they are on it, this could be extremely, extremely bad. Now the Lux rotating up. They want to get vision on this Baron. Everyone from the Kingdom of Kittens kind of just disappeared. This could be bad if they all die here. Rondo trying to make a last-ditch effort play. His bot lane is here on the hunt, was used, but the teleport in from behind could be frying. Avo not able to dish out too much damage just yet. Moment of Bliss is exhausted, and now Haruki is here. Finally, the damage has come through. Neferi looking for an ultimate onto the Caitlyn. Will he be able to find the kill? The answer is no for now. The flash was used, and now finally Duskfall are able to find the fight that they've been looking for quite a while. The Baron started up, and I'm not quite sure what Kingdom of Kittens were thinking in that one, as now the Neferi, after being chased out for so long, expending the flash, but for absolutely no reason, will fall in the end.
Feels like there is a lot of scrambling going on from the side of Kittens. It feels like the walls are closing in, and that felt a very scramble-ish attack there, and it just seems like the communication was just off, and the execution was off as well too. It was almost what they wanted, and in their heads it seemed like the right idea, but now you extend it, and now you have tripled, you have ×6 this lead here.
Yeah, ×6 is a pretty big times, if I do say so myself. I'm no math expert, but 7 is a pretty big number to be multiplying it by. The Baron does not go over to Duskfall though, so you do have that, but yeah, it feels like Regicide are not too sad about how that pans out, as yeah, it feels like they're never really on the back foot in any of this there.
No, and it did seem that the Kittens definitely had an answer. The lane was really looking good for them, but now look at this flank coming from the side of Moment of Bliss. Rondo finding the ultimate, but now Rondo out. It doesn't have the sustained here to keep himself up front like that, and now the Storm gonna go a little wide there, but now the second one going to find a bit on the Bliss. Bliss going to find the ultimate to keep himself afloat, but for how long? Not long enough. It will be a trade of the shutdown, but that definitely goes to the side of Kittens, who find a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here. Haruki taking a huge trade here from the side of Cue Ball.
Yeah, trade of junglers in the end, but the second one does also fall. So not the worst trade for Duskfall, but you do lose your jungler as well as a shutdown ahead of this dragon, and it is a much longer death timer. Rondo up right about now, as Moment of Bliss has still 15 seconds left, but with the items on this Caitlyn, it should just be just fine.
Oh yeah.
As that is, yeah, second dragon, definitely stopping that early. Oh, I didn't even know that there was Kingdom of Kittens Syndra. I thought it was Duskfall by how he was positioning. Wow, oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, using the Fog of War there. Cue Ball did not know Ava was still in the pit. Had a headshot proc lined up for him, and luckily didn't crash into the E, because that would have been 2 headshots into the ultimate most likely for the kill.
Yeah, Cue Ball not having the best game on the Syndra, but definitely not having the worst either. Kingdom of Kittens just kind of not playing together as a team in the way that they would like. It's like Rondo hasn't been able to find the clutch multiple person ultimates that he wants to. And I think on the side of Regicide Duskfall, it has been Moment of Bliss to be making these plays, to be sort of calling the shots, and it's really great overall gameplay. You know, there are some hiccups. I think we've seen Magnus overstep a couple of times, but overall, Regicide Duskfall looking very strong in this game.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. Are in the realms of being able to close this out to a 2-1, but Kittens still up and about to try to bring this to a match 3. The Reds will still fall to the Kittens, so that is always a plus.
It's true.
I don't know if they noticed they used Smite, so I don't think they're gonna go green light for the Baron. But if you've noticed, the vision has definitely swapped over for Regicide.
Yeah, Regicide has a lot more vision around this top side, which is exactly what you want if you're going to start up the Baron. I think they're probably waiting for Caitlyn to pick up, I believe it's probably the Infinity Edge, but it's a bit of an unorthodox build, so I'm not too sure. But now, though, Magnus is caught trying to take the Hex Gate. He should just be dead. The heal will not escape you from the Impale, as that is a support dead before what could be a crucial objective. I'm not sure if it's exactly the most impactful member, but it is certainly one that you would want to have if you're going to go for an objective. But a little bit of chase coming on in the mid lane, but shouldn't be too much more coming out of it, although Kingdom of Kittens are rotating their members over to this fight. Renekton is walking up in the river, though. Rondo might be a little bit caught out of position here, and Nefiri is close to follow. Haruki on a little bit of a flank on the hunt, as well as the active ability used from the support. Now the dash in, Moment of Bliss, gets the flash, but doesn't get the kill. The Caitlyn doesn't get it either, as Hyperfania is forced to flash away. Only has the barrier left, as the ultimate is starting to tick down. Zillion is not able to keep you alive for that long, buddy, as the Scatter of the Weak was used. Somehow that Wind Becomes Lightning hits under the turret, as Kingdom of Kittens start to understand the true extent of this gold lead.
It was looking really good for them, and every time these guys find an angle, it just seems for some reason that they can't find the closeout. And I feel like that's always the issue here for the side of Kittens. They're always really reacting. We're never really seeing them in the driver's seat. And with a 6k gold deficit, it's very difficult to find themselves in the driver's seat. Yeah, you found the support, that's great and all, but what did that really get you? Just nothing but ultimate cooldowns, as we see Baron get secured by the side of Regicide. Avo in the backline is on a rampage now, as we do see Regicide get aggressive here. The bombs are going to land, but it's not going to write much home. As Q-Ball just gonna have to take an E to the side there.
That flash Q was absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry for reacting like that, but oh my goodness. Hit absolutely nothing. He's not been having the best game, but certainly not having the worst either. Infinity Edge now completed on Caitlyn. So yeah, Infinity Edge on Caitlyn. Sorry, my internet is also in shock at that Caitlyn having Infinity Edge. 33 Hubris stacks as well, so very, very happy being able to dish out so much damage. Hopefully we'll be able to see a team fight where she can go bonkers. Maybe we'll be able to see a multi-kill, maybe a triple quadra, even a penta, our first penta of this series. As now the Renekton engage is looking pretty good. The Zillion ultimate is there for now, but this is not a Sivir that is long for this world, as Avo is unstoppable yet again, able to pick up his first of the fight as they look their way towards this bot lane turret. Oh my goodness, the headshot absolutely deleting the second one. Is now just autoing the turret down. I'm not quite sure how Caitlyn is allowed to do that much damage, but now Regicide Duskfall are looking their eyes towards this Nexus, the flash forward. If that E hit on Q-Ball, that was one auto, ladies and gentlemen, that took the Syndra down to about 30% HP. Now forced to go into the fountain and heal up. Regicide Forsaken looking their eyes on these Nexus turrets. The Syndra is looking for an angle, able to find something with the Scout of the Weak, but will survive for now. The Wind Becomes Lightning hits under the Skarner, but meanwhile, in the backline, Syndra able to find the kill onto the Renekton, but it doesn't matter in the end. Avo going godlike as Regicide Duskfall look to clear out this game. The Nexus isn't dead yet, though. One more auto will do it, and Moment of Bliss will find the last auto to secure the game, to make it a clean 2-0 for Regicide Duskfall.
Really good turn of events there for the boys. Really well played. It's just super unfortunate. The Kittens just feel like they were always playing on the back foot there, never really having their chance to shine and really be in the driver's seat and really dictate where they wanted the game to go. They were always reacting to how this game was going for them and just unfortunately wasn't able to flip it and write their own story. And, you know, that's just sometimes how it goes. But really, GG's to everyone who participated and who was in, but of course to our winners tonight.
Yeah, Regicide Forsaken able to pick up that final game in the series. We can see the damage charts now. 23.7k was the most damage that we got in this one. I think last game we saw 46k from the mid laner, but both the mid laner and the bot laner of Regicide Duskfall are pretty even in this one. The Syndra, a little bit of elo hell here. 23.1k damage in the end, but you know, no member of Kingdom of Kittens had a crazy insurmountable individual lead in that last game, let alone either game. The early game did look good though, as we can see it was fairly even up until 12 minutes, and that's when all hell broke loose. Again, in the first 12 minutes, 2 dragons were taken for Kingdom of Kittens, so it seemed to be a good start for them. But again, after, I think really the deciding moment of that game was just the Baron start with 3 members of Kingdom of Kittens looking to maybe sneak a Baron a little bit, but it was just sniffed out from Duskfall, and that's probably around the 21-minute mark to 24. That's probably around when the Baron was started and when we saw that major uptick in gold for Regicide Duskfall.
Well, with that being said, we're going to be closing that out today. It has been a blast and it's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It has been your boy, Huey. With me has been my guy, Caliber. Thank you for being with me tonight. And of course, on production, always is the one and only Last Revenant. Please be sure to keep those notification bells on, follow that schedule, jump into Discord so you know when we will be live next, and keep up with all this fiery Ember action. Thank you all so much. Stay hydrated. Love your mothers. Until next week. Peace.